Here we go. Try to cash this one.
Wait a minute. Roll that back. Is that really Bill Belichick? Laughing? Smiling? Joking? This is not the usual serious, taciturn, tight-lipped, reticent, slightly irritated, emotionally repressed, occasionally condescending, robotic football savant we see at press conferences and on the sidelines. Quite the contrary. There's photographic evidence. He smiles. So we asked some former players, which is the real Belichick?
It is typically 100% business if Coach Belichick is addressing the team. I mean, very rarely does he walk in and he's like, all right, guys, I got this great video I want to show you. It's going to be phenomenal. You're not going to believe it. Did anybody catch what was on SNL last night? I mean, it just doesn't happen, right?
Matt Light, former offensive lineman and three-time Super Bowl champion, personally liked the discipline and clear expectations set by Belichick.
I've seen some of these companies that do things at a very high level, and it is very reminiscent of the culture and what we have in the locker room, here in Foxborough.
But the coach does have a sense of humor. Famous for quizzing players during team meetings, he once agreed to give Light the answers to a particularly tough set of questions.
And I'm like, well, Coach, in that situation, they're probably going to, drop the safety down. They're going to roll to like a, cover three. And, we just got to be ready for, that overload blitz on the left side. And I remember the guys around me are like, are you serious? And he's like, all right, so, okay, well, what are they going to do and blah, blah, blah. And I remember even Brady's looking back like, that's unbelievable.
When he speaks, guys are sitting at attention.
Troy Brown, another three-time Super Bowl champ who played both receiver and defensive back during his 15 years with the Patriots.
People say he doesn't have a heart, he's cold and all these things, He's actually pretty soft, but he's tough when he needs to be, man, And then you walk in that building, it's about the Patriots, so it's about us. If you don't have that attitude, then you turn around and go back out.
Brown thinks that singular focus then self-selects the players who make the team. Some guys just can't take the heat.
He's not an easy guy to play for because it's pretty demanding, and a lot of it's on you. Here's the information, you take it, you read it, you get it, you come to practice the next day and you be ready for it. A lot of people leave here unhappy because they're too stressful or whatever it is, because they don't have video games and big screen TVs in the middle of the locker room and reclining couches and that type of stuff. We don't have any of that stuff, so it's a blue-collar setting. So it's work, man, and we grind.
So when he gets in press conference mode, a lot of times you just can't. He's giving you a stick figure of who he really is. But
sports radio host and author Michael Holley has had a chance to see a more fully formed view of Belichick. In researching and writing his books, he's had insight into the man behind the sometimes iron mask.
I've seen a side of him a lot of people haven't seen. Very doting, even now, on his kids who are all adults. And that's been the case since he came to Foxborough. I remember after tough losses, this is around 01, 02, where they lose a bad game and you look into his office and he's there with his sons and they're on the whiteboard, the grease board, and they're just diagramming plays and they're asking questions about football, X's and O's, and he's patiently answering those questions. So that's a side to him that a lot of people don't see.
Holley also notes Belichick has a good sense of humor, but acknowledges that as a journalist, asking questions of the coach can be difficult.
A lot of times those shutdowns come from the fact that we're getting ready for a game, and I just don't think this has anything to do with the game, and it's not going to help us win. And I'm talking to you, even though you're in front of me, I'm really talking to my team. So is this what my team needs to hear? I don't think so. Let me shut you down.
And it's hard to argue with the results. As Matt Light pointed out, Belichick has a fistful of reasons that say his way works.
He's a fun guy to be around. It's just you don't get a chance to see too much of that because that's a tough league. It's a tough season. It's a tough atmosphere, and most of that's about winning.
Well, SportsCenter 5's Duke Castiglione and Josh Brogadier join us now from Gillette, and they can tell you that not a lot has changed down there.
In fact, Duke, you and Josh heard a bit from Bill earlier this week. Let's take a listen.
Wondering if you've given any serious thought to relinquishing the personnel, maybe some of the draft responsibilities, and coaching the team, which you were saying yesterday is something you still really want to do.
Yeah, I'm for whatever, collectively we decide as an organization is the best thing to help our football team. And, I have multiple roles in that.
Just to follow up on that personnel question, If Robert came to you and said, I just want you to coach the football team, would you be okay with that?
Yeah, I just answered that question, dude.
Okay, so there you have it. Josh, you got an answer. Duke, you got shot down. So, Duke, let's start with you. What's your take on the way Belichick interacted with the press?
I think he learned from the best, Parcells. Parcells was more personable at it, and you know, he enjoyed it. You know, Bill is sending a message to his team. He's sending a message to the opposing team, and you know, I don't take it personally. Some guys take it personally. You know, he's out there to do a job. I'm out there to do a job. I always try to think of a question my friends that are fans would love answered. You know, people at home. He understands we have a job to do, and we're the conduits to the fans. That doesn't mean he's going to, you know, work with us. I will tell you, and Josh can speak to this as well. Football's, you know, you can talk football with Bill on Fridays. You know, there was actually a book about it called Fridays with Bill, and you know. He would tell some good stories, especially if you asked him about Sean Landeta, Lawrence Taylor, or Phil Simms, you know, and those guys in the Giants. So he would tell some great stories, or ask him about Navy football. But as far as, you know, getting him to give you anything, other than, you know, during Deflategate, we had the Mona Lisa Vita. You know, Josh?
All right, Josh. Well, if nothing else, Belichick was consistent. But it's one thing when you're winning and another when you're losing. Did the attitude in the room change in recent years? Were more reporters willing to challenge Belichick?
I think that's a good point, Shayna. Yeah, I think people were willing to challenge him a little bit more, sort of see the facade cracking just a little bit as the team got a bit worse. I want to take issue, though, with what Matt Light said. A fun guy to be around is not something any of us really saw in this room too often. You know, that podium behind me right there, you'd sort of be in anticipation, especially, you know, Wednesdays, Friday mornings. Bill would kind of walk in the door and then, you know, got really quiet. It's like class is about to start with that teacher, you know, he's not going to call on you, but you better be ready with the answer. And if you heard a question asked, don't ask it again. If you're not paying attention, you're going to get smacked down. So, yeah, you had to be on your toes with Bill, and I respected that a lot.
Well said. Josh and Duke, thanks so much.
Gotta imagine it's going to be totally different with the next head coach. All right, when we come back, look to the future for the Crafts, for Belichick, and for the fans.